What is good? I'm having a good conversation in my Discord right now, just around life simulation games. As you guys know, inZOI just released their early access, which has been getting a lot of mixed reviews, but I think those mixed reviews are coming from the people who actually play life simulation games and not the people who, haven't played since like Sims 3 or something like that, or people that are just new to the genre of life simulation games. So I just really wanted to hop on here and explain what life simulation looked like years ago. I'm gonna explain a little game called Sims 2. Sims 2 is by far one of the first games where there was no limits. It felt like you had your map. You could put businesses, you could put apartments, you could put hotels, whatever you wanted, even to the point they had vacation lots and adventure lots, and they just had a lot of things that just made the world feel humongous, even to the point that just living in your house felt very, very immersive. There was cars, pets. You could have multiple family members, you could farm, you could build, and then they expanded on that to, like I said, you could own a business, you could be like Indiana Jones or something. And honestly, like Sims 2 just really felt like the best. And one thing I always like to mention is it felt like it was that time period. When it released, it still had the cordless phones, it still had the big desktop computers, all the fashion felt very close to that time. Like, I don't know, it just made me really appreciate the genre, and that was really when I truly fell in love with it. Yes, I played Sims 1 and all of those, but those didn't really seem that fun. It felt like the experiment where Sims 2 on the computer was just amazing. But that was when they also started dabbling with DLCs and expansions. At the time, you could just go to the store and buy like 5 discs for like $10. It wasn't nothing crazy, but like Sims 3 was when we truly seen, oh, they're gonna make this a thing. But they didn't stop on Sims 3. They made Sims 3 have a free roam world. This section isn't for the GTA people. GTA is the best, I would say, at open world. I've never played anything like a GTA. Sits up here for me for open world. Cyberpunk was obviously one that came in there. Red Dead Redemption, still coming from the Rockstar studio. They did very well at open world, where Sims 3 introduced open world, and I couldn't believe it. You could hop in your car, drive from your house to the casino, and watch your guy drive. And in between this, people are modding the mess out of this game. You could get any item you wanted that was in this universe in your Sims 3 game, from TVs to laptops to Lamborghinis. Like there was no limit to what you could put into your Sims 3 game. And to the point, the core features of Sims 3, it didn't get rid of anything from Sims 2. It added more stuff from Sims 2 because of that open world aspect, to the point of new careers was introduced, like a superstar. You could be a singer and do performances and literally watch your character walk from their house to the concert. And then we got Sims 4, where Sims 4 just felt not complete when it released. I don't think a lot of people here remember what it was like when Sims 4 was released. There wasn't a lot of anything. It felt very basic, but they sold us on graphics. Sims 4 next to Sims 3 is night and day. Sims 4 looked amazing compared to Sims 3, and people loved that. People loved getting their characters in order and putting custom content into the game. And early on, custom content carried Sims 4, even to the point of just like the more intricate mods like Basemental, shout out to the gang, and some other mods that we won't talk much about. But DLCs, like I said, was introduced Sims 2-ish. Sims 3, they went really, really heavy with it. Sims 4, they took it to a whole nother level. And keep in mind, there's no cars in Sims 4. there's not even an open world. They've introduced it a little bit in DLCs where you could travel a little bit outside of your house, but you couldn't just walk to the neighbor's house. You can't just walk to another part of the map. And it felt just not right. And it didn't feel like the Sims that we've known and loved. But 10 years later, there's a large collection of mods. There's a large collection of fairly priced DLCs where someone now could get into Sims 4, spend a few $100s, and they now have a pretty decent game. But the kicker there, spend a few $100s. I myself on Sims 4 have spent close to $300. I don't know what else I could have spent that on, but that's $300 spanned across 10 years of owning this game. And I bought Sims 4 from the beginning. I was not lucky enough to have Sims 4 for free now. So paid full price for Sims 4, paid for 5+ DLCs now, 6+ DLCs now, and the game is just not that fun. To the point, mods heavily carry Sims 4. If you're new to this page or new to seeing my face, I have tried my hand in modding Sims 4, and it's not easy. Like, huge credit to all of the Sims 4 modders out there, because they are single-handedly carrying this game, from the clothing to the custom items to the actual features of the game. Sims has purposely released DLCs to eliminate mods, to break mods. They have said it multiple times. We don't make this game for modders. We don't make this game to sustain modders. They're going to release DLCs. They're going to release updates with no idea or thought on, oh, is it going to break a mod that has millions of downloads? Maybe, but who cares? We'll drop an update on a random Wednesday. And I think that says more about Sims thoughts on the community than they think. So let's cut to the chase, okay? What is the perfect life simulation game as of 2025? Let's just start with graphics. Graphics, I don't think has to be realistic. inZOI went realistic. I don't think it needs to be realistic. I am down my own game dev journey, and I have learned the more realistic a game is, the harder it is to implement things into said game. Say you are a modder and you want to make clothing and pants and stuff, and you just don't have the ability to make hyper realistic things, but even to the sense of new animations, new clothing items. Like, it has to be perfect or it is not going to look good. It will look like it's something band-aided on top of a hyper realistic game. So I think what Sims 4 has, I think what Paralives is working towards is perfect. Be unique in your art style. Does not have to be realistic, because the less realistic, the more it can be adjusted and changed. That leads me into modding. Please make it easy to add custom items into the game. Make it easy to add custom scripts into the game, because without that, you're going to lose your community of the people who want to put something in the game that is very niche to them. There are mods out there that have 10,000 downloads, 15,000 downloads, where every person on that mod they need it in their game. And I think your game has to be at that same level. City Skylines is someone who I have a bone to pick with them right now. It is so hard to mod their game, like, to the point the directions and stuff is just not good. And they didn't even release mods when City Skylines 2 first released, which was not good. Open world. I don't care if it's one map, two maps. I don't care. Life by You actually was onto something, because they knew that was something that was important. Paralives, I don't think they've really have hinted at a true open world yet, but I think that has to come back into the life simulation genre. Sims 3, they did it so well. That's where I think that is a missing part of all of this. Is I want to be able to go to the club. I want to be able to go to the gym. I want to be able to go home and see that happen and understand my neighborhood and understand where things are in my neighborhood, where my neighbor lives at. I think it all just adds to the immersion. And inZOI is in a good path. They started out with 2 maps and they're already teasing a 3rd map. So it's completely open world. You can drive around it, walk around it, skip around it, do whatever you want. But I think it also adds to the point of level design. You have to have good level design to have a good open world. Sims 3 actually had pretty good level design, to the point it still added plots around the map where you could add your own building or add your own business here to add to what is already there. And I think part of that, obviously, cars, vehicles, scooters, whatever it is, it's a life simulation. I got to be able to hop in my whip and drive somewhere. Pets, duh. Everybody has pets now. Businesses, I think businesses is a very big part of the life simulation genre now. I feel like that honestly started with Sims 2. Sims 2 Open for Business was by far like one of the craziest DLCs to me. Weather should not be a DLC. I think weather should just be a part of the game. Sports. I feel like sports has never done well in the life simulation game, to the point one of the mods I have made is a basketball career, where I'm trying to build that out a little bit more. But hey, man, if a game makes it a little bit easier to give my insight to sports, to mod it or to adjust it, I would love that. Entertainment. I do give Sims 4 credit for the entertainment category. Same for Sims 3. inZOI, I think they're starting to experiment with it, especially just being a singer. You're in a band, you're a rapper, like you're a comedian, magician. Like I need all that stuff, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it just adds some flavor to the game. If I'm not one of those careers, I would love to know that someone else in the world is a popular singer. I feel like it doesn't need to be said, but you know, a lot that you can build your own houses and even apartments. I feel like apartments are not a huge thing in a life simulation game, to the point like it's been a DLC like every single Sim so far. So inZOI, they launched with apartments, which helps, but I haven't really experimented with like actually building your own apartment or something like that. Something I would like to see a little bit more is just hobbies in general. If that is collecting cards, if that is building, I don't know, toy models and stuff. Like, I think just niche hobbies that isn't your character's main source of income, I think could be expanded on in a lot of games. Dang, this is really making me want to play Sims 2 now. I think I might have to play Sims 2. I've really felt like this was just a good time to talk about this and just to continue this conversation as we expand in the life simulation games. I said it in Discord, but I'm cheering for inZOI. I want inZOI to do well, but I want Sims to get better, and I want Paralives to do well. I think we're just at a huge point where there's things that games are purposely not putting in the game, and there's new ideas coming to the table where we need to combine that. We need to not get rid of features in order to add something that no one asked for. And I think the 2 biggest things that help with that is open world being easy to mod. Both of those together combine to make a really, really good life simulation game, because as a creator or as a game developer, you can't think of everything. You don't know what a magician's career is unless you have a magician that works in the office. You don't know what a good guitar strum sounds like on the instrument in the game if you don't have someone who loves guitar as part of the game studio. Life simulation is hard because it combines life. Like, people live so many different lives, and we can't get rid of things in order to push the agenda of what you think a life simulation should be. And I think just opening that door is where it needs to go. And unfortunately, Life by You, who got canceled, they wanted to go down that route. They just wanted to build the framework and let the community go from there. But the community was not happy with how the game looked, the animations. It just seemed very basic, where inZOI, that's what they led with, is we have a very good looking game. Come play it. We can figure out all the other stuff later. And that's where I think Paralives has kind of stayed in the middle, where, hey, we have most of the features you would expect in a Sims game. We have some more features that we have thought of on our own. And they haven't completely ruled out modding at all. So I think that is something that's going to be interesting. I know some people are going to bring up multiplayer. I'm not with multiplayer for life simulation. I think it's a choice. Like I wouldn't mind if like it was a choice to join a lobby or something like that. But I think the biggest advantage, and I'm waiting for it. It was almost like Sims 2 kind of worked like this for like tourists and people that did not live in your neighborhood, where it would say like they're traveling or something like that, and they had to like travel to see you. Where I almost feel like, say I add you on the game, like your people could potentially be at the coffee shop or knock on my door because we've met a couple times. And I think that would be the cooler aspect. Obviously you had to think of like aging, how would aging work and all that stuff. But I'm not huge on multiplayer for a life simulation game because I like doing what I like doing in my game, and I wouldn't like someone to ruin that immersion or ruin what I think you should be playing the game like. And hey, I have a game for that. You know, that's definitely Project Zomboid for me right now. Like Project Zomboid is probably one of the best life simulation multiplayer games out there, to me at least, just because it has everything you would expect in a life simulation game. You can build, you can drive, you got to eat. You know, it just adds zombies in there. Life simulation games have came a very long way. Credit to EA for even bringing it this far, where it has created a whole nother market of games. But I don't think we are there yet. I don't think Sims 4 is the best. I don't think Paralives is the best. I don't think inZOI is the best. Those just key features that are just, this is just the basics of life. Pets, cars, open world, multiple outfits, multiple careers, own a business, sell stuff, collect things, start a new hobby. I think it puts you in a way better place. One thing too is gamifying life simulation games. Gamifying is the hard part. That's something I'm actually learning as I go down this route of building my own games, is you have to find a way to make it fun. Life in most aspects is not fun. You got bills, you got responsibilities, you got haters in your life. You know, most of the time life is not fun. So you have to find things to make it fun, whether that is leveling up, whether that is, like I said, getting to the top of some hobby or entertainment. And being fun is the hard part. And playing inZOI early on, I feel like they are on that cusp of making it fun to level up your character, make your character better, so they unlock new animations, new items, where Sims has always mastered that. They have always made life simulation fun with levels and aspirations and random events and goals, and you know, they've just thought of ways to just trickle in, like, hey, do this and you know, you unlock this, or do this and you get this nice sound that happens after it. And that has, I've always gave credit for that. So I think that's something Paralives could definitely plot on when they release, is how do we make it fun? Is it fun first? Does it look good? Sure. Does it have all the features that we would expect in there on launch? And last but not least, just get rid of the DLCs, man. And if we're gonna keep up with the DLCs, it better be extremely game changing, to the point, if, for example, inZOI, it's just inZOI. We don't get inZOI 2, we don't get inZOI 3 5 years from now. It's inZOI, and the, I don't know, Atlas expansion comes out. Shout out to No Man's Sky. We've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky on this page lately, and that's something I feel like I gave a lot of credit to No Man's Sky for, is you don't get No Man's Sky 2 and 3, you get expansion 17 that introduces a new item and introduces a new planet, and it changes the game. It overhauls the game, and it took them a year to do, 2 years to do, to release this new expansion. Where Sims, you know, some of the things that they've released for Sims 4 probably took them a few months to make. It probably took them less than that for some of the features that they probably already had done. They just plotted out a 6-month release for it. So once again, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how we feeling, man. Let me know how we're feeling. What is the dream life simulation game? And I'm sure you guys can agree we have not hit that yet. You know, the dream life simulation game to me is 20 years old now. That's Sims 2. You know, a little bit of Sims 3. That game is old. Those games are old as dirt. My computer struggles to run it because it's not even the same width. So how can we get Sims 4 quality, inZOI quality, and combine all the features? That's really what I'm waiting on. It's Malik Childish. This is another MC show. Hey, I'm gone. Two.